Hello, my name's Ray Shin. I'm the chairman for the Nemaha County Republican Party, and we want to thank you for joining us today as we discuss the issues on the Nemaha County County Commissioner race. The Nemaha County Republicans are providing this video to the public for your information on all the candidates, Democrat and Republican candidates. And we're making this video available along with other videos on the 2020 primary races. We feel that this is a better way to allow the voters to get to know the candidates and then possibly be able to ask questions of each candidate through the social media. We're doing these videos instead of the usual debate among the candidates, which is typically held as several candidates are vying for the same position. We have asked the county commissioners candidates to join us in discussing the issues, and we're hoping that you will become informed and will be able to get with the candidates and ask for further questions. We are not taking any sides on any issues, and we hope that this video will allow you to get to know the candidates. Today we have with us Dylan Keim. Dylan is running in the 3rd District, which encompasses Seneca and 4 other townships in the northwestern area of Nemaha County. We have 5 questions to ask each of the candidates, and so the first question is, Dylan, can you just give us a brief summary of yourself and your qualifications that you have to run for the county commissioner position?
Well, sure. Thank you, Ray. Thanks for inviting me here to let citizens know who I am and why I'm running, so I appreciate that. I was born in Nemaha County. My family's been in Nemaha County since we were probably a county. And I married my wife from over here. She went to B&B, and we have 4 wonderful kids. And I own 3 businesses, and so as far as qualifications, you know, there's a lot of things that you have to deal and manage with in a business, not only employees, but budgets and sometimes emergencies and things that come up like COVID to work around. But also, you know, I was served on a city council board, and I did that for a while. Our mayor stepped down, and at the time, all the council members asked me to go ahead and fill that vacancy as the mayor. And so I did that and finished the term, and then I went ahead and ran for re-election again, and was elected. So at that time, I think I was probably the 2nd youngest in the state. So I think I was 20 when I was re-elected again. Wow. So I served our citizens there for a while. I had worked with Libby Inslee on doing budgets, so I understand budgets. At the time, I'd also worked on zoning for the city. But also I worked with Laura Kelly. We did a lot with her, and that was about the same time when I believe Steve Lukert was our representative for the House, and Dennis was our representative in this area anyways for the Senate. But yeah, so I have some experience with running government and what it takes and some of the challenges that go along with it. So
Good. What's some of these issues that we have in this county that prompted you to run for the county commissioner position?
Well, there's always a bunch. You know, being a Republican, it's always taxes. You know, taxes have got high. They really have. Of course, wind is one, but also where we're going to go as a county. You know, I don't think we've had a direction so much per se of what we want to do as a county and where we want to go. And when you get input from your community to do that, that helps the commissioner steer where we want to go, how we're going to budget, and what things we're going to do. So those are the things that prompted me, that I felt about, but also our rights. You know, our rights need to be protected, and in government, it's real easy to make an ordinance, and it seems right at the time, but you've got to watch what that ordinance does. What is that action of that ordinance going to do to the rights of people? You know, and sometimes it's totally against what you want, but you can't infringe upon people's rights, and that's what we really need to watch as a commissioner is people's rights and,
Right.
and take care of that always, right? You always need to protect those rights of the people. So that's something else. So
Absolutely. Okay, we have the commissioner's been talking about a comprehensive plan for the county, and could you kind of explain your thoughts on this comprehensive plan? And
yeah, I think a comprehensive plan for the county is good. Especially, you're going to get the input of all of our citizens where we should go. We need to have that plan of where are we going to be in 5 years? What do we want our county to look like in 5 years? What do we want to look like in 10 years? And so on down the road. And you can direct how we're going to budget, what we're going to build. Hey, do we want to redo Lake Nemaha? Do we want to build some kind of big recreation center? Do we want to look more at tourism? What do we want to do? Hey, we have a problem with employment here. We compete with each other. Businesses, we really do. It's hard to find a good employee and retain them. So let's look at pulling people in and how are we going to do that? And ask our citizens, what's the best way to do that? And then what do we want in our county? And how do we want it to look? So a comprehensive plan is a great thing. It really, truly is. So
do you feel that the plan would lead to zoning, or what's your ideas on that?
yeah, it really can. But that comes up to the people that are on that board. And they're going to get that input from our citizens of what they want.
Mm-hmm.
If our citizens want zoning, it'll work itself that way. If they don't, it's not going to work that way.
Right.
But they give us the directive of which way to steer. You know what I mean? So that's where it's good, because now you get input, which generally you don't get input from citizens unless they're mad.
Right.
So we want to direct them the right way and what they want to do. So
Do you support your current the future industrial wind projects that's happening throughout the county, and what issues do you see that should be addressed to resolve these future development and setback issues?
So far as a future or the current wind project, I don't support that. I mean, there's a lot of issues, and it would take a time, and we can debate that later. But some of the issues that need to be addressed with it is, the state last year basically said that they're not going to regulate the wind companies. The federal government stated we're not going to regulate the wind companies, but it's up to the local government to do that. And so I don't think we put regulations in place to control these companies, to make sure our citizens are protected. And so we need to do that, and I think we kind of left ourselves short. We really did with the negotiations and the agreements. So I feel there was a lot left on the table and things that could have been done. You get large corporations, you've really got to watch them, and you've got to make sure what they're doing, how they're doing, and keep them in that line. You don't want them to sway out, because they will. It's kind of like electricity, the easiest path it's going to take. So if that's cutting through a town, it's going to go through a town. If it's going through a road we don't want them on to improve them, you've got to make sure regulate, and you got to make sure they hold to their terms too. So that's what we need to do. That's why I really have a problem with the one that we have now. We need more regulations. We need a little bit more control over these companies on that. Now, future wind projects, that's where the comprehensive plan will come into place, and that vision for the county. As a commissioner, I have a vote, but as a commissioner, I'm here to represent everybody in the 3rd District, not just myself, not what I want. It's what they want. I mean, that's the whole point of government, is to take one person and say, hey, do our will, and this is what we want. And they got jobs, they got farms, they got families they got to take care of. They don't have time to come down here and deal with this all the time. So that's what the commissioner's for, is to vote with their will, the way they want you to vote. And so that's what I'll do. And if the citizens in my district want wind, and that's the way they go, I'm going to have to go that way. It's not just what I want to feel and dictate how it goes. So it's what they want, not so much as what you want, and using that judgment for that. So
Sure. Okay, our last question is, what other issues do you see that's important to you and that you believe can make a difference to save taxpayers' monies or to make any advancements in our county?
So, as far as the advancement side, that's where that comprehensive plan comes down to. And that's why we keep mentioning it so much, is it is important. And so those advancements, that'll be addressed there, what we want to do. But as far as tax, saving tax money, the other commissioners are going to talk about the mill levy. And, thank you for lowering the mill levy. But on the other side, you got to understand, with the mill levy, you've got the percentage of valuation of property. And so if they're evaluating the property at 73% and they drop it 10 mils, that's great. But if they drop it 10 mils and evaluate it at 93 or 95, all of a sudden your taxes went sky high. But hey, we lowered it 10 mils, right? So it's all a dollar amount, and you can shuffle left to right, but the taxes have got too high. I know, people that have had valuations where their property went up 25% in one tax year. So that's a big bill, especially when you have businesses. It's not cheap. So that plan helps direct that budget, and so we can plan for those things. And you can go into the budget and start working line items and saying, hey, why are we spending money here? Because now you got a directive of where we want to go. This isn't really where we want to go. So we can get rid of this, right? And we can add here or whatever, but the main thing is the basic principles of government we need to fund first and take care of, like roads and bridges. So
Absolutely. Any closing thoughts?
thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to everybody and let them meet me and just let me get it out there. So I appreciate that very much.
Well, this pretty well concludes our candidate video for Dylan Keim, and we want to thank him and want to thank you for joining us and watching us. We hope that this has been a good video for you, and that if you have comments or questions, please comment on the video so that the candidates would be able to answer any of those questions. And join us in the other county commissioner candidate videos as you go to the Nemaha County Kansas Republican YouTube page or the Nemaha County Republican Facebook page. Again, the names and address, email address, and phone numbers are at the bottom of the page, so feel free to contact each one of the candidates. Again, I want to thank you. I want to thank Dylan. Thank you.